Well, as we can kind of continue the conversation on alternative energy and kind of pick up a little bit from last week, I want to go a little bit into the China EV policy that we talked about last week. Some updates there. Last week we talked about this policy that sets up favorably for EVs and specifically Chinese EVs, NEO in particular. Is this policy actually making an impact? I know it's only been a week, but can you update us on the latest data that's being released here?
Yeah, sure, Aaron. So I actually have another chart here for you, and we'll screen share once again. We've got a lot of screen shares today, guys. A lot of screen shares.
We love
When you
them.
got the charts, why not show them? Okay, so here we are. You got it, Aaron, in front of you?
Yep.
Okay, cool. This is so again, we showed you the exact same chart a couple weeks ago, without the
Mm-hmm.
most recent data point over here.
Okay.
This data point we
Yep.
do not have.
Sure.
This is the China's PMI, so purchase manufacturer purchaser
Okay.
manager index. Sorry, it basically asks all the manufacturers in China how are business conditions right now. A reading above 50 indicates expansion. A reading below 50 indicates contraction. So all this is
Okay.
expansion up here. All this is contraction down here. Now you
Got
can
it.
see that this has loosely tracked the electric vehicle index, the Kensho electric vehicle index, which is the best proxy for EV stocks in the market.
Okay.
And that's because 60%, you can see that it goes up here, correlates with the rise in
Mm-hmm.
EV stocks right around when it peaked. This peaked back here in late 2020.
Mm-hmm.
EV stocks peaked a couple months later. Ever since, it's been in a pretty consistent downtrend. EV stocks have been in a pretty consistent downtrend, but now we're starting to see it bounce, right? And it's back into expansion territory right here. This is a pretty sharp V
Mm-hmm.
bounce.
Yep.
If this continues, this is going to U-turn. EV stocks are going to U-turn. And why
Okay.
is that? Again, back to the core thesis, 60% of EV battery manufacturing is done in China. So
Mm-hmm.
if China's factories are down, then that means 60% of the battery manufacturing capacity in the world is down or limited, is handcuffed.
Mm-hmm.
If that is rebounding, then 60% of the battery manufacturing capacity in the world is rebounding, is coming back, is
Mm-hmm.
improving, and that's going to lead to improving trends for EV stocks. So I think that data to me tells me, hey, and that the most recent data was at 50.2 reading. It's an improvement from the previous reading. So month over month, we're up. The non-manufacturing PMI is also up. So China is like this anomaly in the world right now.
Okay.
Everybody else's economies, they're going down. They're declining.
Mm-hmm.
If you take the derivative of economic data, it is negative. Everything is decelerating. But
Mm-hmm.
in China, things are actually improving because they just had a wave of COVID 19 lockdowns. They pulled back that wave. So now you're getting natural improvement there. The Bank of China, the PBOC, is actually coming in and they're not raising rates, they're cutting rates. They're actually being stimulated the economy. So
Mm-hmm.
what's going on in the rest of the world is almost the polar opposite as to what's going on in China. Everywhere else, decelerating economic momentum with rising rates. In
Mm-hmm.
China, improving economic momentum with falling rates.
Mm-hmm.
That's why China's economic data is improving, and that should in turn lead to a rebound in EV stocks. Now, to be clear, the wrinkle in that thesis is the recession,
Yeah.
right? Recession hits, people aren't buying big ticket items, they're not buying
Mm-hmm.
cars, that should hurt EV stocks, right? I would say for like a Ford, yes. For a GM, yes. For a Tesla, even yes. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're talking about a Lucid or a Rivian or these kind of startups that are just filling out their book right now,
Mm-hmm.
that's not true. Because as we talked about, I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, every car these guys make, they're going to
Mm-hmm.
sell. They are
Mm-hmm.
not limited by demand. People want a Lucid. That order book is maxed out. People want
Yeah.
Rivians. That order book is maxed out. What these guys are limited by is their supply, their production capacity, which is limited due in large part to what's been going on in China.
Mm-hmm.
If those issues in China continue to get resolved, which I think they will, and they're on the trend to be resolved, if that persists, then all of a sudden these guys' production capacity expands. They're going to be able to make more cars, not enough to where they're not going to, it's going to outstrip demand, but enough to where their numbers are going to go higher and their profit numbers are going to go higher. So I think that EV stocks like Lucid, like Rivian, can actually buck the broader market trend and
Mm-hmm.
rise over the next few months because of improving situation, an improving situation in China, and that's also true for Neo stock. Neo got hit last week by a short seller report, which after going through, I don't think there's much merit to it. But I do think that Neo is going to benefit in the second half of the year from China coming back online. And we've actually seen Chinese tech stocks really start to U-turn. Look at every other stock chart; it doesn't look that pretty. Look at an Alibaba; it looks like it's forming a nice little bottom handle here, and it's ready to rocket higher. There are a lot of Chinese tech stocks that are producing a lot of alpha, and that's because China's economy is the only one in the world that's actually improving right now. So that's a sort of situation with EV stocks. The latest update on the data. Why I do think that an improvement in Chinese production capacity will happen over the next 3 to 6 months. And as it does happen, you're going to see a U-turn in a lot of EV stocks.
Thanks for watching HGI Clips. For the full episode, head on over to our sister channel at Hypergrowth Investing by clicking the link in the description or listen to the podcast on any of your favorite streaming platforms. We make new episodes every Wednesday, so make sure to check it out and subscribe to never miss any of Luke's Hypergrowth insights.